If you're here for day 19, you're at the right video. Grab your worksheet. Capitalization. Capitalize races and ethnic groups. And then they give some examples. Capitalize regions of the world. And again, they have an example. So looking at our sample sentence that we are going to practice our capitalization on, you'll see it says, the Arabian horse was first used widely by the Bedouin people of the Near East. All right, we know we capitalize the first letter of the sentence. Next we have Arabian horse. All right, Arabian would be capitalized, the A in Arabian, because on day 6 we learned that you capitalize a proper adjective, a word derived from a proper noun. Arabia is the name of the country that Arabian horse comes from. So as we would capitalize A in Arabia, we capitalize A in Arabian. But we do not capitalize the word horse. So the Arabian horse was first used widely by the Bedouin people. That would indicate an ethnic group. So we would capitalize the B in Bedouin, but not the P in people. And then of the Near East, that is a region of the world. So in that case, both the N and the E would be capitalized. So you end up with this, the Arabian, Bedouin, Near East, all being capitalized. Under punctuation, we're moving on to quotations now and how you punctuate when you have quotations in your writing. You use quotation marks around what someone says or writes. You place a comma after the speaker plus the verb at the beginning of a sentence. And they have the example, Reggie said, and then you would begin your quote. If the words form a question, place a question mark inside the quotation marks. If the words suggest strong emotion, place an exclamation mark inside the quotation marks. Periods and commas are also placed inside the quotation marks. So the sample sentence is, excuse me, Marcia asked, are you visiting Fresno, California next summer? All right, so what is the thing that's being directly said? What needs quotations around it? We have the key, Marcia asked. That tells us she's getting ready to say something. So there's going to be quotation marks involved. So as we learned up above, you place a comma after the speaker and the verb at the beginning of the sentence. Marcia asked, comma, quotation marks. Are you visiting Fresno, comma, California, comma, next summer, question mark, quotation marks. Back on day 12, we learned that you place a comma between a city and a state. And when it's within the sentence, the comma goes after both of them. So it would look like this. Marcia asked, are you visiting Fresno, California next summer? Question mark, end of quotations. Good job. Next, we're going to start looking at sentences and fragments and deciding when something is a sentence and when something is a fragment. A sentence contains a complete thought. It's an independent clause. A fragment does not. So write S if the word expresses a sentence and F if they do not. That would be F for fragment. Model airplanes for sale. There's a subject, airplanes, but there's no verb, so there's not a complete thought. That would be a fragment. B, it's cloudy today. That expresses a complete thought. So it is an S for sentence. When Joe was born, we don't know what happened when Joe was born. Okay, that's a fragment. It's not a complete independent thought. Lying on the floor, also a fragment, not a complete thought. All right, next section is analogies. You haven't had analogies before, so you might even be wondering to yourself, what is an analogy? An analogy compares two things and tries to find a commonality between them. All right, so it says here, determine how the first two words are related, then determine the same relationship between the third word and a word listed as an answer. So what they have is height is to altitude, and that's how you read that. Height is to altitude as upset is to... All right, so first let's figure out how are height and altitude related. Well, they both describe the same thing, okay? Altitude is how high up something is, and height is a measurement of how high something is, all right? So we have height is to altitude as upset is to... What word here might be a synonym to how you're feeling if you're upset, okay? If you're upset, does reset make sense? No. Upset, perplexed? Those are similar words. You can be upset and you can be perplexed. Those words could be used interchangeably. So it's possible. Upset is to grandiose. Grandiose is like something really fancy and extravagant. I don't think upset matches with that. And the last word is monarchy. Upset, monarchy, those words are not related. So the closest word that would complete this analogy then is perplexed. So you would read the analogy sentence as height is to altitude as upset is to perplexed. All right, the next section is the sentence combining. You can combine those into one lovely sentence for me to read. I look forward to it. God bless you. Thanks for your time.